The Biden administration declares that a genocide is happening in Sudan. The Biden administration, which has been intimately complicit in the genocidal atrocities being perpetrated in Gaza for the last 15 months, has just determined that a genocide is being committed in Sudan. On Tuesday, the Biden administration formally accused the Sudanese paramilitary group known as the Rapid Support Forces, RSF, of committing genocide in the civil war that has been ravaging the country since April 2023, announcing sanctions on the group's leader, Mohammed Hamdan Daglo Musa, along with 7 RSF-affiliated companies. The RSF and RSF-aligned militias have continued to direct attacks against civilians, Secretary of State Antony Blinken moralized in a statement regarding the decision, adding, "The RSF and allied militias have systematically murdered men and boys, even infants, on an ethnic basis, and deliberately targeted women and girls from certain ethnic groups for rape and other forms of brutal sexual violence. These same militias have targeted fleeing civilians, murdering innocent people escaping conflict, and prevented remaining civilians from accessing life-saving supplies." Sometimes all you can do is stare wordlessly at the absolute gall of these freaks. This is, after all, the same Antony Blinken who just flatly denied that a genocide is taking place in Gaza in his final interviews with the press a few days ago, even as mainstream Western human rights institutions like Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch unambiguously accuse Israel of committing genocidal crimes of extermination against Palestinians in the enclave. This is the same Biden administration which has adamantly insisted on continuing to supply Israel with the weapons it depends on to continue its genocidal onslaught in Gaza, despite mountains of undeniable evidence that it is deliberately targeting civilians with deadly force and deliberately cutting off civilians from food, clean water, and medical supplies. And this is also the same Biden administration that has been sending weapons to the United Arab Emirates, while conveniently ignoring the fact that the UAE is sending money and weapons to the RSF to use for its atrocities in Sudan. The UAE has been covertly shipping weapons to the RSF, but that doesn't stop the Biden administration from pushing forward major arms sales to Abu Dhabi, notes Anti-War's Dave DeCamp regarding the announcement. So the U.S. is indirectly backing the genocidal atrocities it now denounces in Sudan, while aggressively defending the genocidal atrocities it is directly backing in Gaza. This announcement comes as Biden and his handlers push through one last $8 billion weapons shipment to Israel in the last days of his term, a final blood-soaked punctuation mark on an ugly legacy of mass murder throughout Biden's far too long political career. And we can't realistically expect it to get any better when the next soulless empire manager takes office. In a radio interview on Monday, President-elect Trump boasted of being the best friend Israel ever had, pointing to the numerous concessions he made to the Zionist state during his first time in office. "Well, I'm the best friend Israel ever had," Trump said. "You look at what happened with all the things that I've gotten, including Jerusalem being the capital, the embassy getting built." Trump then reiterated his threat to Hamas that there will be hell to pay if the Israeli hostages are not released by the time he takes office, following earlier statements which suggested the U.S. could become directly involved in the bombing of Gaza during Trump's term. The U.S. government does not care about genocide, regardless of what bloodthirsty ghoul takes office or what political party they happen to belong to. Anytime genocide rears its ugly head in a way that is convenient for the interests of the empire at best will look the other way, and at worst join right in with the slaughter. The empire itself is the problem. When the empire remains murderous, even after you get rid of the official elected leaders currently overseeing the murderousness, this tells you that it is the empire itself that is the problem. The empire is what needs to go.